Welcome to Chalant, a podcast for people who have absolutely no chill. I am your host, Katie Ruby, and this week, and actually for most of my life, I am so chalant about Jelly Belly jelly beans. First of all, it's important to note that my friend Zoe sent me all of my favorite flavors of Jelly Belly jelly beans from the Jelly Belly factory. Apparently, she lives really close by, and she was a total legend and sent them to me this week. So thank you so much for that. Also, my dad sent me 10 pounds of jelly beans this week. So, I got a lot of jelly beans this week. And so now have a rare opportunity to share with you all a thing I have been so chalant about since I was a little kid. And let me tell you, no one cares about this, but I have no chill and it has bothered me for years. It revolves around these three jelly beans right here. Okay, I believe that they are improperly labeled. This one right here is the Tutti Frutti jelly bean. This dark pink is supposed to be cotton candy, and the light pink is supposed to be bubblegum. I challenge you to go get these three jelly beans and taste test them. Okay, close your eyes. Well, I guess don't close your eyes because that wouldn't make any sense. You'd have to have somebody else do it basically because you know the answer. But if you looked at start with the light pink one, put it in your mouth, you'll be like, all right, yeah, that's bubblegum. And it's correct. Like that is the bubblegum jelly bean. But follow it up with the dark pink one, the one that's supposed to be cotton candy. And you'll say to yourself, okay, wait a minute. Or tell the other person it has to be bubblegum, cotton candy, or tutti frutti. They will taste this jelly bean and be like, it's sort of sour. So I guess this has to be tutti frutti. Okay, fine, let's move on. And then they put the other one, the tutti frutti, the one that's pink with speckles, right? This one right here. They put that one in their mouth and start chewing, and they will think to themselves, oh, wait, this is bubblegum. This one tastes so much like bubblegum, I feel like I shouldn't spit it out. Or I shouldn't swallow it, I mean. Like, it feels like bubblegum. And then they will rethink their first answer. They're like, well, this is definitely bubblegum. The one before this has to be tutti frutti. So I guess that first one must have been cotton candy. And they'll be wrong because those are all mixed up. I am not sure what happened here. I once heard some story about how tutti frutti was like a type of bubblegum at one point in history. There's nothing fruity about it. It tastes exactly like bubblegum. I can't get over this, and now neither can you. That's why we're so chalant. Hey, let's meet our guest. Say hi, Emily.
Hi.
Okay,
It's so good to be with you.
Thank you. Anybody who hasn't been like a longtime viewer of my Twitch stream maybe doesn't remember Emily as the girl who brought over all the eggs the night we did the egg stream. And then my friend who was there all the time during the Twitch years. But Emily is one of my favorite people in the entire world. She's the most hype person I know and likes all sorts of interesting things. And I am a big fan. But before you tell us what you're so chalant about right now, Emily, tell us who you
Yeah.
are.
I'm Emily D. StAubin. I'm a stay-at-home mom of 4. I'm originally from Illinois, and
We won't hold that against you.
we've
Do you
moved
know
around
what
a
your
lot.
state's thing is? Like apparently Maine is the
Pine
pine
Tree
tree
State.
state.
Yes, I know it's because it's on all of our bumper stickers. We're the land of Lincoln.
Oh. Okay, I guess. But there's not like a blank state like New Jersey was
Oh,
the
that's a
Garden
really good
State.
question.
Indiana's the Hoosier state. I feel like I have a lot of makeup on or something, but I really don't. So
I
there's some sort
just
of a
put
lighting problem.
the Prairie State.
What?
Yeah,
That feels like it
I
should be
see it.
Kansas.
I see that. I'll own it. Have you seen
right.
that image of Pope Leo, like, in front of, like, the fields? And it's like
No.
the fields are calling to him? Yes, somebody snapped a great picture of him, and we were like, the Midwest is calling to him out in Italy. But yes, I'm from Illinois, and it's a terrible place to live, so now I live in Ohio by
There you
way
go.
of Indiana, where I lived for a couple of years and got to know the best people ever.
Yep, that would
We're
be.
just Midwestern folk.
Yeah, Midwestern folk are the best folk. No offense to you East Coasters, but it's true deep in your hearts.
Yeah, I agree.
Emily, what are you so chalant about?
I'm so chalant about knitting. Knitting is my thing. It's my personality. It's most of my personality
Did you knit the
knitting.
shirt you're wearing?
I knitted the shirt I was wearing. I was wearing a different shirt, and then I started to understand that I was going to be on video, and I instantly had to go put on something I had knitted. I teach a lot of knitting classes, and there's like this unspoken rule that you should always wear something that you have knitted. And I don't have like a ton. I haven't been knitting for only been knitting for like 2.5 years, so I don't have like a ton of sweaters. and I don't have a lot of, like, summer tops, so I just
Yeah.
went through a long, hot summer, and, like, the place where I teach, they do not crank the air
Oh,
conditioning.
no. That's
I do.
rough.
In my home, the air is up so that I can wear my knits.
All the time,
But anyway, I don't remember
regardless
where
of
that
season.
question started. Yeah, so I knitted this sweater, and I always feel like I say, like, I always feel the most of myself when I'm wearing something that I've made, and that I just try to do that every day
That
if I
tracks.
can. Yeah.
I somehow lost all of my notes, because my plan is to
You
ask
don't
the
need
same
them.
questions every time, and I
Okay.
have to have them in front of me, otherwise I'll forget what they're no, they're right here, I got them. I got them. We're
Oh, okay,
good.
good.
Um, I don't wanna ask that question yet, though. So when I started knitting in February because normally in the summertime
Yes.
I garden, but it's really hard to garden in Indiana in the winter, and
Yes.
as I mentioned last episode, I don't do well in winter. So I picked
Mm-mm.
up knitting as a hobby, and poor Emily had to, like, FaceTime me 5 or
Love
6
it.
times, while
You
I
are,
went
like,
through stuff.
why I have online videos now.
Are you really?
Yeah. I have, like, a student portal, so now when I, like, teach people, they can go to my website and watch, like, just the knit stitch just over and over on repeat, no ads, like on YouTube.
Wow.
On YouTube, you have to, like, sit through, like, "Today we're gonna talk about knitting," which originated in, Iceland, and my grandma taught me, and her name was
Mhm. It's like the
Bertha.
Google SEO thing where when you go to look at a recipe and they're like,
It's
"Here's the
exactly
story
like
of
that.
blah, blah." I literally pulled up a recipe once when I was on stream where it was like, "Let me tell you what a soup is." I was like, "Are you kidding me right now?" And it was
No,
like,
thank
"Soup
you.
is a liquid with other
Is
things
that
in
what
it."
SEO is?
Yeah, search
They just
engine
put words in
optimization.
there?
Yeah,
How can
it's
you be
like,
good at that? How is that,
oh,
like, a special skill? Just
it's
blathering on?
yeah, it's basically just saying enough. You know how, like, when you were in college and you just wrote everything hoping that something would hit? It's
Mm.
literally just that. Like, what are the potential search terms that could get me in front of people? It's ridiculous. Not a fan. Um, but I love that you're doing that. That's awesome. And now, but that's kind of sad for me because when I start knitting again, when it gets colder, you're just going to send me links to things.
I'm just gonna have you look on there, or I'll use your requests. So, like, I'll get a question from class, and I'll just instead of just like, I would only send a video to one person, I've just started putting them all on the internet.
Yeah. What I appreciate about Emily is that, like, she is, well, either she's a really great actress or she's as excited for you that you've learned to do a thing as
So
you are for
excited.
yourself.
Well, here's the thing with knitting, and I think it's probably true for a lot of hobbies too, is there's, like, this thing we have as women where we're like, "Oh, I could never do that."
Mhm.
Like, it's not just, like, I'm not interested in, like, learning to sew or, like, I don't like, literally just don't want to. It has to be like, we have to say that we're not good enough to do it, and
Yeah.
that is terrible, and so, like, a lot of times when people learn to knit, like, they literally thought that they couldn't ever do this thing, and then all of a sudden, like, 30 minutes later, they are doing the thing. Like,
As
and
it
I
turns out.
yes, like, they will leave the class, and I'll be like, "You now know how to do this thing that you said that you were not smart enough to do, or patient enough to do, or whatever the heck to do." Like, it is really like, I get really happy when I when I teach people how to knit.
I'm so
Guys,
proud of you for being
everyone
able to
go
overcome
learn to
yourself.
knit.
For real though. Okay, I'm gonna ask a question about that in a minute or so. Like I'm currently, you said you don't have any warm weather things. I was working on a project that was a tank top, like a very basic,
Mhm,
like
yes.
a linen cotton. So it's a little weird
I
to
remember
knit
this
with.
tank top.
Yeah, but it happened to have that I was working on it at the same time that my nephew committed suicide. Sorry about that.
No, it's
Um,
okay.
I don't mean to
I'm
make this
so
about that,
sorry for your
but
loss. No.
thank you. But it like derailed my whole life. Like
Yeah.
couldn't do anything for weeks. So I haven't been back to knitting class since that happened, since before that happened. And it was like in April. So, and it's
Yeah.
currently September 1st. So like my knitting teacher probably thinks I fell into a black hole or something. And I'm confident if I go back and just be like, "Hey, my life fell apart for a few months there and I have
Yeah.
existential dread now." She'd be
Yeah.
fine. But
Just
anyway,
give yourself permission to, like, not knit with that yarn anymore, to never
uh,
knit that pattern, like, all this stuff
but I
I had.
want it. I want to
Yes.
do it, but I
Then
messed
that's
up.
good.
I messed up at some point while we were traveling. And now looking back, like I'm looking at it, I'm like, it doesn't look messed up. But I know I did mess up and I don't know. how or why, and I also don't know, like, what row I'm in 'cause I pulled it out. I don't know where I'm at. I have
Mm,
to start over is what I'm
that's
saying.
fine, that's fine.
Bleh.
I have this yarn that I literally, like, just used the last of that I bought. It's purple yarn from my friend in Virginia who would be great on this podcast. Her name is Devin, and she dyes yarn.
Devin,
And
what are you
yeah,
doing?
Devin, yeah, Nitty McPurley, shout out. Maybe we'll just, like, summon her to the chat.
Just send her a
But she
link when
dyed
this
this
comes out.
purple yarn, yes, and I bought it, like, 2 years ago, and I started knitting this sweater, okay, and then I had a miscarriage, had to give up on that sweater because I was just so distraught, and again, I was making so many mistakes, like, so I was like, "I can't figure out this pattern," and, like, my resilience was just so low, and then start a new sweater with the same yarn, ended up having another miscarriage, and it was just just the worst. I totally, like, we call it frogging, where you, like, rip it all out, rip it out, rip it out,
Fair.
rip it, rip it, rip it, and, put the
'Cause
yarn
ribbit,
away.
ribbit, ribbit.
Yes.
Okay.
And so if you're, getting into the knitting Instagram, that's a little key word to learn. So I just put all the yarn away. It was like 5 it was a lot of money's worth of yarn. And I've just been putting it into, like, little projects here and there, and, like, there was, like, something when I, like, used the last of it. Like, it was a physical thing tied to this emotional experience, and when I, like, finally let it go, and I finally stopped thinking about all the memories that were, like, attached to it, and, like, gave all of it new life and other projects for other people that I love, like, it was, like, a real like, it sounds very chalant.
Yes.
Like, it sounds very chalant to talk this intensely about yarn, but, like, it is.
No, I agree with that. Like, I felt bad that I brought that up, but I think that that's true for, a lot of things that it's like sometimes your hobby gets you through a thing. Sometimes your
Oh,
hobby is
yeah.
like a way of marking the passing of something.
Yes.
Just so much of our life is intertwined with itself, which was I used to sit there and think while I was knitting, like how you're literally doing things that don't seem like they should result in cloth at the end. You're
Right.
doing
Yeah.
weird motions with one piece of thread and then at the end you're like this is
A shirt.
cloth. Yeah, like all of a sudden there's a sweater and you're like, "Whoa,
And
whoa.
then and
What
you're
just
or,
happened?"
like, when you're, like, going from, like, a straight piece of string to, like, a circular hat or something like that. Yeah.
Right. Or if
Crazy.
like I did cables, like how? That's crazy. What just
Okay,
happened
so
there?
listen, there's this book called Karis in the World of Wonders. It's very good. Spoiler alert, though. In it, she's, like, really good at, like, needle crafts. Like, she's really good at, like, sewing and embroidery, and, like, the people of the village didn't understand, and literally they burned her as a witch because she was so good at it. Then they didn't understand why. They were like, "How is she doing this? It
Mhm.
must be witchcraft." And, like, I'm doing this stuff with knitting, and I'm like, "I get it." Like, I get why someone would look at this yarn and then look at the sweater and just be like, "That has to be magic." Like, there's no way that someone is,
Does she float?
especially a
Burn her.
housewife, is
Yeah.
good enough is good enough to, like, turn that into, like, a sweater. But
And
anyway.
we say a housewife because we are both housewives. Like, we don't mean it
Yes.
to, hey,
Yeah.
you about to write a comment? Don't do it.
Don't.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There's so many things that we could say about this, but I want to get into the questions.
Sorry.
So
Yeah, sorry.
no, before we end up stepping on them is the problem. Like we just end up talking about it, and then I'm like, oh, we already covered that. No, we already covered that. So how did you first get into knitting? Like, what was the first thing that grabbed you?
So, I probably, like a lot of people, who get into hobbies, I was, like, what they call a serial hobbyist. So, like, I would have, like, a lot of things that I would get into. There's a mosquito. Um, I had a lot of things that I would get into and then, like, my interest would fall away, and then I would, like, shame spiral, and then it would be harder to start the next thing I was interested in, da 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 da. And so I was noticing I was pregnant with my 4th, and I was on my screen time was just insane. Like, it was so high, and I didn't like it. I didn't like what it was doing to my body. I just didn't like being on my phone that much, but I, like, had to replace it with something. I couldn't just be like, "Well, now I'm done on my phone." And so I started off with embroidery. It wasn't for me.
Sure.
and I decided that I have no idea why. I decided I was gonna learn how to knit. I kind of knew how to do it from college. My mom had taught me, but, like, it's very slow. It's
Mhm.
not, like it's not something to do if you're trying to, like, save time or, like, even, like, when you first start off, if you wanna, like, make something right away, it's a really tough hobby to begin, and
Make
so
a hat. Stick to a
yeah.
hat.
I was like, I even if I just make these little squares forever, like, that's fine. And I just made swatches and I started on YouTube. Um, and I have, like, all of the videos that I learned with on my Instagram in, like, a highlight because there are some just really great ways to teach yourself. But I didn't really, like, grow in it until I, like, got my group of friends that are, like, my knitting group now that I, like, have sort of to, like, be inspired by and be cheered on by and comforted by, and there is something about flying this craft in a group of women that is just I don't know, it just answers something primal to just all sit around knitting and sharing
Sure.
our lives and
Yeah.
going through things together. But, yeah, I started it because I just wanted to get off of my phone, and, yeah, now it's my personality. Now it's what most people know about me.
I know many things about you. But
Thank
yeah,
you.
it is a chief thing I know about you. Yeah, speaking of knitting and getting off of your phone, we said we were gonna bring
Yes.
this up, so
Oh
the
my gosh!
as
Okay, yes.
you, like, walked
Yes,
right
yes,
into
yes.
it is what you did. Alright, if you haven't seen this little guy here, this is what is this app even called? Do you
Of
remember?
course you did all it's called Focus Bean no, Focus Friend. This is
Focus
what he looks
Friend.
like.
Yeah,
He's
so
knitting.
this is
Why won't
this
it focus on
I didn't
him?
start mine because
Don't
yeah. So, like, you
his
take your
little
little guy right
butt.
here, and you hit this little button that says "focus," and then it gives you a timer like this, and then you can put it on deep focus mode, so that, like, disables all of your apps, so you can't do anything else, and then you hit start, and he'll sit there and knit with his little butt out
And
for
if you
s
try to, like, interrupt him, a little window comes up and it says, "Are you sure you wanna stop focusing? Because he'll lose all of his knitting."
That's right, he's gonna
And you're
unravel, he's
like,
gonna frog it
"Oh,
up.
no. So
"I'm
sorry.
so
I don't wanna
sorry.
interrupt you."
I know
And
how
so
hard
my
you're working."
friend I was having literally the hardest night with, like I had a project I needed to I don't, like, need to finish it, but I wanted to get done with this sweater for my daughter. I was so distracted by my phone, and
Mhm.
literally out of nowhere, one of my knitting friends, Jody, um, texted me literally the link to this app, and I think all she said was, like, "It's a bean who is knitting, and if you touch your phone, he drops his stitches." And, like, from there, I now have a relationship with this virtual bean.
Yeah, it's is it John Green that made it? I
I
think
think so.
I think so. So he's an Indiana native, and he comes up on my Instagram all the time. But John Green created this thing. You can get the John Green flavored bean if you want.
Yep,
Like, you have to pay for that. I don't have the
right.
paid version. I'm just cheap. But
I did buy the paid version.
no, you didn't.
I did because kids wanted my kids, like, come up to me and they're like, "What can we buy, like, for his little room?" Like, we have the chair with the little alien on it, like,
Oh
we I had to start
man,
knitting these scarves.
I get
I
it.
had to. It's like $1 a month. I was like, "This is of all the dumb crap I spend money on."
I love the self censor of
Like,
all the
I'm
dumb stuff I've done.
Step I do.
Oh my
I am
gosh.
gonna, like, definitely spend money on this, for sure,
Yeah,
and the
for
other
sure.
day, to get my son to clean his room, I literally was like, "If you go clean your room completely by yourself without complaining, I'll let you buy the cat outfit for him."
Which one? The is it the
The
orange
cat,
cat?
the gray cat.
There's an orange cat now too.
Yeah. Oh, there's a
I
lot.
scroll through 'em and I don't buy 'em.
I really wanted him to pick the, like, Hank Green one because it looks like a little person, and I was hoping his butt would be covered because I don't like the little butt.
Oh, really? I think the little butt is so cute.
The boys, like my sons, like, wanna watch it. Like, we'll
The
be
butt?
driving in the car, they wanna watch him knit, and to me, all I see is butt.
Hmm.
But I guess they don't see it. But anyway, they, like, are in the car in the back seat, and my phone will be on the thing, and they're like, "Turn on your little bean," so that they will quietly in the car watch the bean knit. And then
This
when
is
we get
good.
to school, they're like, "How many socks did he make?" Anyway, this is now an ad for this application. But
It really is. This is
so that
not an
same
ad.
friend
Ugh.
has, like, 8 kids. Some of them enough of them are teenagers that 3 of them have phones, and they all have to, like, turn their phones in at night, and they all will turn on the bean at the same time, and she, like, texted a picture of all of their phones with the little bean knitting to, like, our knitting group and was, like, having our own little night viber. Because, yeah, if you're not turning it on before you go to sleep, you're, like, wasting 2 hours of knitting.
I know, you could have gotten free socks this whole way.
Free knitting time for your
I have to tell you
virtual
how incredibly
companion.
self-conscious I am about the fact that it looks like I'm wearing a ton of makeup. I swear I don't have any on. I don't know what's happening. Why does it look
I'm
like
not even
this?
looking at you. You're
I got
fine.
a new camera and it's a little I feel weird
I
about
can
it.
imagine. I you can't have a nice yeah, the nice cameras, they're not good for any of us.
Right, it's
I
not
feel like it's against the law now to be like, "No, I just look like I'm 30."
right. I'm like, I'm
Like,
just 40 years old. I've got
I'm
like
just 40.
jowls a little bit. It
Yeah,
happens.
I know, we have to.
Ugh.
I don't know what our
Anyway,
problem is.
it's a hobby podcast. Nobody
Nobody
cares.
cares.
Anyway, all
They're all
right.
just looking at the sweater.
It's such a good sweater. I haven't
Thank
gotten
you.
to the point of being able to switch colors yet because again, I
Looks
went off the
very
rails.
easy.
I'm
This is
still in an existential
everything with knitting is like, "Oh my gosh, that's so crazy," and then you learn it, and then you say, "This is it?"
Yeah. Oh, it
And
was just that?
it was just that.
It
Like
was that's what it was with the cables when I was like, "It looks
yes,
like it's going underneath it." And then I was like, "Oh, no, it is. You just pull it forward and then knit
that's
underneath it and then
literally
put it
just
back." Oh, alright.
and they're like, "Cable front?" I'm like, "Yeah, you put them in the
You put
front,
it in the
and then
front.
and then for my students, I'll be like, "So what do you think we should do if it says cable back?"
It's
And they're
crazy,
like,
right?
"Put them in the back." Like, I love teaching knitting because it's so, like, experiential. It's so easy to create this just cognitive dissonance of, like, you don't know something, but then if you just let your body sort of make
Mhm.
the motion, they usually just figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
I've
The
now taught
stitches are named
anyone
things like
yeah,
knit 2 together. You're like,
right.
"Hmm, I
"What do
bet
you
you I
think
could
we should
figure
do
that out."
here?"
I bet you I could.
It's yeah, so it's pretty fun and, like, it's fun to just watch people discover that they are much smarter than they think they are and more
Yes.
patient than they think they are.
Right. Okay, so you said that you had other hobbies that you gave up on in the past. What is it about
Yes.
knitting that keeps you coming back?
What is it about knitting that keeps me coming back? Um, I think in a lot of ways it's my group that I have, because it is I'm so inspired by them, and I'm so inspired by their craft that I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like, I wanna knit that pattern," or "I wanna try that yarn," or "I wanna, like, make a swatch with that little technique," or, like, we'll share, like, a podcast about it. There's books about it, like, if you're, like, getting bored with knitting, you start getting into spinning fiber
I've
from
seen this.
sheep's wool into yarn, like, it just starts, like and there's, like, this joke that, like, once you start knitting, like, your feet are on the path to becoming a shepherdess. Like, you are walking there, and it's just a matter of if you're gonna die first or become a shepherdess first because
Right.
you're headed that way. And, like, I have this sweater actually, Rebecca Dewan, from Orchard
Rebecca,
Acres Textiles, made this yarn. She dyes it with plants that are grown in Ohio, and she raises sheep on her farm in Minnesota, Teeswater sheep, and has them sheared. She makes, like, giant installations of fiber. It's, like, beautiful, and anyway, so, like, she's inspiring me, my friend Devin's inspiring me, all my knitting friends. Shout out Jody, Monica, Kelly, and Sarah. All of them,
nice.
Kaylin.
Sup,
They're just
Sarah?
like I'm just like I love them all so much, and I don't know what I would do without them. So, they keep me coming back to it, and it's a lifestyle change. Like, once you start knitting consistently and you, like, start having, like, 3 or 4 projects going, you can't just, like, sit there and not be knitting. Like,
Yeah.
I can't just be, like, waiting for the doctor and just sitting there because I'm so stressed about the time that I'm losing because I could be knitting right now. Or like when I'm driving, instead of being a passenger princess, I'm like, I could be knitting. If only my husband would just drive, then I
You
could
just
be
say
over
that
there.
sentence.
I,
Listen, Eddie.
I do. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is all time that I am losing knitting. But anyway,
Yeah. Okay, so I always worry when it comes to hobbies, like, what's the initial investment? What's the cost? What do you
Yes.
need to do to dip your toes in? So, like, if somebody is listening to this and like, maybe I want to try knitting, where do they
Mhm.
start?
I think you just start with, here's the tough thing. Here's what I wanna say about materials, because knitting can get inordinately expensive, especially if you compare going to, like, Hobby Lobby to going to, like, a sheep and wool festival or something. Like, you are comparing something that's mass produced to something that is, like, literally, like, farm to sweater, handmade. And so, what I will say, all you need to start knitting is some string and some needles. But when you buy yarn that is made more intentionally, it is easier to knit with. And sometimes when you get, like, wool ease or, like, red heart yarn, some of those yarns, like, come apart more easily, and that can be frustrating, and when you're learning a new hobby, you don't wanna be fighting with the tools you're using. And so sometimes it can be better, like, if it's possible to go to a local yarn store or go like, find your, like, local guild or whatever and, like, get advice, because like, you can still, like, stay pretty inexpensive. Like, you can still get started knitting with good materials for, like, $25. But, like, I mean, you also could get started for $50. Like, there's, like, different ways, but, like, a lot of times when you spend more, it is a more enjoyable process, and, like, why are we doing this if it's not enjoyable? Like,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah. I got that's
and
what I did. I
YouTube.
just Oh yeah, YouTube.
Yeah,
I wandered into my local yarn store because I think every town has a yarn store. The town I live in is not huge, and I'm not
no.
talking about like I went to Indianapolis. I went to the Noblesville,
Yeah,
Always in Stitches on 32. Like
mhm,
great place, and they had a class that was I think 25 or $40 for a month of
mhm,
boot camps where like she just
yep,
walked you through stuff, and then you can pay like $5 to go just sit in the room with all the old ladies
yeah,
and just knit in their presence so that if you screw up or if you have screwed up, she'll fix it for you, which is very nice. But yeah, like the local yarn stores, and literally it's just some kind of needles and some kind
yeah,
of yarn and then
yeah.
just start knitting.
The yarn, like, says on it what size needles to get, and then you'll just go and get that size, and then you'll either sign up for that class or you'll go home and you'll look up your little YouTube video and you'll just make a little square
Mhm.
and then be like, "I made this little square." And if you need it to be something, just say that it's, like, a part of a quilt. But, like,
Or a
later on,
coaster.
yes, like, but also, like, it might just be this little thing that you tried and the next one's a lot better, so you don't necessarily want to use that first one for something anymore. But
Yeah.
it is such a great way to get involved in a community, like, local libraries have learned to knit classes. There's usually a weavers guild in everybody's area, and that weavers guild will have things like knitting, crochet, all the fiber arts craft. But yeah, our local yarn store has learned to knits and open knit nights and knitting clinics where, like, you buy, like, a pass of, like, 10 drop-ins, and, like, there's just all of these things of ways that, like, people have been knitting for a very long time. And, like, if you can't like, I learn from my friends, which is really great, and that just I mean, that started just because I, like, saw people knit I should have said this before. I saw my friends Sarah and Anne knitting at book club, and I was
Mm.
in Monica, and they're just, like, they're knitting, like, tiny overalls for babies. Like, and I'm there and I'm like, "Wow." Like,
Wish I
now
could do that. That would be
I know, I was
amazing.
like, "That would be amazing." But also, like, they could talk, and it was just something to do with their hands while they were, like, in book club or whatever, and so, um, anyway, they, like, inspired me, and having them keeps me I don't remember what I was talking about, but yeah.
Yeah. Last week at the beginning, the thing I'm so chalant about this week was like having friends who know how to do things. And you're my friend who knows how to knit.
Yes.
Having a teacher
Yes.
that I went to is it like, cause my friend Emily has 4 kids and she's got to and like people pay her to do this. So, like, it's not really fair for me to be like, hey, Emily, I have questions. But like, go to the knit store, find some people, and then you can meet some people that are completely different than you, which is
Yeah.
cool.
Yes.
So that kind of leads me into my next question. What is one unexpected way that this hobby has shaped your life and helped you to like changed how you see the world?
I mean, I think it's definitely completely changed my relationship to clothing, like, in a huge way, and, like, I got into, like, slow fashion for a little while, and that can be just really frustrating because the buy-in is so big, like, and it just feels frustrating. When you don't understand that, it just feels frustrating. And so now that I hand make clothing, and then I have to hand wash that clothing, and I have to, like, store it in such a way that moths don't come and try to eat it, like, it just makes me a lot more careful, a lot more conscious. I think about how, like, in the olden days, like, you would just have, like, 1 sweater every, like, 3 years that your mom would
Yeah.
knit you, and, like, you just had to, like, take care of it.
Yes.
And, like, one great thing about wool is, like, it's stretchy and it's malleable, like, it is just really well like, it's really I wanna say it's well made, like, by the sheep who grow from
Great
their
effort,
bodies.
sheep. Great
Yeah,
work.
very well done to the sheep. Pour some out for the sheep. Um, but, like, it totally changed my relationship to that. It totally changed my relationship to, like, the understanding of, like, farming in America and just the ways that farmers really struggle for a lot of things because we here, unlike the consuming end of it, just are so far removed
Mhm.
from the process of where all of these things come from. And it's made me like a serial knit like it's I have to have it with me. And sometimes my husband has to remind me that it's supposed to be relaxing because I'll be like, well, where's my knitting? Oh my gosh, I gotta finish this. Oh, I need to find that yarn. Like I need to do all these things. I'm so behind or something, and Eddie's just like, "This is supposed to be relaxing. This was supposed to be something that would make you less neurotic."
Eh,
Yeah.
neurotic in a different way, I guess.
So it's been incredible for my mental health, and I've now taught people from age 7 to age 75. Like, I've taught people like, I have Catholic homeschooling groups, I have, like, secular knitting groups, I'm able to teach just anyone, and that I discovered I love teaching, like, I
Mhm.
didn't know that about myself really, and I love it. It's, like, my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Um, and it's so nice to be able to teach something that will literally like, my high school knitting classes are my favorite because I'm like, "This is gonna walk with you, like, through your life." Like, how we talked about, like, our knitting during really hard times, even when we walk away from it, like, that's a part of the story. Like, that's something that is gonna hopefully be able to be with you that whole time, and, like, in really exciting times and really sad times, and especially when you're working with youth, like, they just used to leave us when we, like, launched our youth into the world, they used to, like, leave us with a lot more, like, actual, like, physical skills, like, tangible hobbies that they could move on through, and so, um, anyway, that's how I don't remember the question.
Oh, that's good. Expected way that has changed the way you see the world, so that's good. Yeah, that's one of the things I found with most hobbies, and
Yeah.
I don't think I can think of any off the top of my head that don't have this, but like where when you have this other aspect of yourself, this thing that's important to you, you can
Mhm.
move other people into your life that don't share whole swaths of your life. Like they don't share your
Mm,
religion, or they're not the
yes.
same ethnicity, they're not the same class
Oh, yeah.
or race, whatever, but you share this thing that matters to
Mhm.
you. And like I was talking to my friend about running last week, and I love to run. I don't love to run. I do run anyway. Whatever.
You
I run a
should run.
lot.
You run because you do.
I do. I
You
do
seem
run.
to find yourself running.
Guys, this morning,
You
yesterday, it was
look
a whole
around
thing.
and you're like, "Here I
Why am I
am,
running again? Anyway, but like
running."
the I can follow people on Instagram that are like, I'm a black woman runner or I am a gay man runner. And I'm like, but I can take something with me from
Right.
each of these
Oh,
people and
yeah.
learn and draw from it. And it's interesting and useful. And it's kind of a beautiful thread, if you don't mind the pun, to
Oh, I
like
love
weave
the
us all
pun.
together.
It
There's so
weaves
much
us
knitting
together,
pun.
especially because our hobbies are often what we turn to in times of, like the most recent election, like, everything going on in the Middle East, like, times of, like, great stress.
Hmm.
And, like, all of us will, like, come and I guess everybody's, like, knitting group probably has different rules, but, like, we all come my knitting groups are on Sundays, and we just talk about knitting. Like,
Yeah.
that's just what we talk about, guys. Like, I'm not trying to make it weird, there aren't any rules in place, but, like, we're literally here to talk about stuff that nobody else really cares about.
Mhm.
Like, nobody else wants to hear me talk about, like, the fiber content of this yarn and, like, how that's gonna compare to a different fiber content, like, or the weights versus, like, how it's spun. Like, these are the nerdy things that we're getting together to talk about, and, like, this is kinda the only time because nobody else cares.
Yeah, but it's so nice to have people that have that. It's
Yes,
sort of a low stakes
exactly.
things to care about, right? Like one of
Agree,
the
agree,
great
agree.
my friend my friend Jeremy's going to come on and talk to us about football, about the Detroit Lions. And like there's
Mm,
it doesn't matter. Like at the end of the day, none of that matters, but it's a cool thing to like be very, very interested in and know that somebody else can understand or get to. So like I could tell you, I've been working with this cotton linen blend and my hands are
yes.
killing me. And you'll be
Yep.
like, oh, try this lotion. And somebody else who's
Yes.
not involved would be like, that is not what I thought you meant by that. But like, I'm using a plant-based fiber and now all of a sudden my
Yes.
hands are dry. Like these are
Yes.
things you wouldn't have known if you hadn't had this shared experience together. Anyway, I'm with you. I love it. We are going way long because Emily
Oh,
is
I'm
my good friend and I miss
sorry.
talking to her. It's fine.
I knew it was. I meant to ask you if it was okay if we went long, but then
It's
I
my
didn't ask
hobby
because
podcast.
I
Like, if
didn't
you've made
care.
it to this point, can you please put the word kerplunk into
Per
the notes
plunk.
down there? KERPLUNK, just for curiosity's sake. But it's my podcast. It's a hobby podcast. I don't care. I'm gonna do whatever I
Okay,
want.
good. Okay, good.
It's the lightning round. Are you ready for the lightning round?
Ooh,
Okay,
I'm a
so you have to like
slow person.
I know, but
Slow
first thing that
hobbies.
comes to your
I'm
head.
ready.
First thing that comes in your head. You ready?
I'm trying to remember what you did for the other ones.
I don't care. Dude, stop it. Stop
Okay.
trying to pre-answer. Okay. What is something that you are decidedly not chalant about? Meaning, don't
Running.
care, pet peeve. Oh,
Running. Running.
take that, T Wills. All right. If you had to be so chalant about something completely different tomorrow, what would you want to try?
I would get pretty heavily into, mm, baking,
Okay.
probably. Yeah, like, decorating cakes and those, like, cookie decorating videos. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
spend so long watching those. I would buy myself a Lazy Susan, and I would just spin that sucker and just ice cakes, and they would not look good, but I
I
would
would think they
just
were going to look good anyway. All
yeah.
right. Who is the most unexpectedly chalant person you know? Somebody that's like really excited about stuff.
Um, I mean, all my girls, I'm just so lucky to have so many great friends here in Cincinnati, but I think Kaylin Dieslin is just so willing to be just weird in public. So willing to be like, "Oh, what did you make? What
Yeah.
you finished it. You finally did it. Oh my gosh." But, like, honestly, all of the women who I named earlier will, like, if somebody finishes a sweater and we all go to this most of the time we go to the same church and, like, we'll, like, be waiting on Sunday to, like, see them walk in it. And we're all just like, "Ah, there
It's so
she
great.
finished it."
I love that. So, like, I mean, if you're a person right now who's watching this and you're like nonchalant, you're cool, just
Yeah.
understand we're all really hoping you're going to get hype about something eventually. So just,
Everyone is hoping that, like, you are also really happy to be here.
yeah, we're really
Like,
hoping for it.
no one is like, "Oh my gosh, I am so glad they didn't actually care about what I was saying." It was like, "Thank God they didn't ask me about it."
Yeah, nobody.
I don't know what the prize is
All right, are you ready?
for being cool. Yeah.
There isn't one. I looked. You get a banana at least in running, but not so much with this. What snack or drink fuels your chalant vibes or your knitting, if you will?
I'm really loving those Olipop.
The soda?
Those, like, probiotic sodas? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm,
All
like,
right.
loving those. I'll get a little Olipop, and that's kind of it for in the evenings. I started that intermittent fasting thing. Sorry.
Nice. All
Yeah.
right.
I feel like I'm, like, so basic, but so now in the evenings, I have my little Olipop, my knitting. Yes. I'm not
What do
very
you hope that
lightning.
people remember about you in 10 years?
I hope they just remember that I was just happy that they were here. I hope they are like, "Oh my gosh, she was just so happy I came." Like, I don't know anything about that girl, but she was happy to see me.
It reminds me of the original Mulan, the animated one where he's like, "And it's happy to see you." Uh,
Yes.
I
I
love it.
basically wanna be Mushu for, like,
Good.
everyone.
I'm
I
that's
wish
a
to be your knitting Mushu.
uh, make that your Instagram handle. I wish to be your knitting mushu.
You get my type.
Just write it down. Write it down. All right. Well, Emily, thank you so much for joining us this week. Hey, Emily has an Instagram and a learning platform. Can you tell us where we could find you?
Knock knits on Instagram, like knock knock on wood, knock knock joke. Knock knits on Instagram and then knockknits.com.
There you go. Check her out. I think you will love her. Follow her on the Instagram, and I'll collaborate with you on some reels this week if you're okay with it.
I am okay with that.
Put you in there. Anyway,
Okay.
guys, thank you so much for being here, and I hope you find something to be chalant about this week. If you have a hobby you'd like to talk to me about, DM me on Twitter. I'm at Mrs. Ruby on Twitter or Instagram, or I have a TikTok now, but I only ever post these reels on it, and then I never check on how they do. I'm pretty sure they don't do well. It's fine. I don't care. Uh,
What is that? Which I mean, what even is this scattershot approach that we're now all just like, I don't know, I'm just gonna
I
put it
don't.
out there.
I don't know. I'm just putting stuff out there into the world because, um, so like we're supposed to be ending, and now I'm going to add something because my
Please
friend
do.
Emily's here, and I have to tell her. So
I
like the
was
thing.
hoping we would keep talking after, so
Okay, cool. But like I want to tell the people, right? That like one of my hopes with this podcast is because the horrible thing happened with my nephew in April, right? And I think that a lot of the kids these days, or like a lot of the thing that happened there was a lot to it. There's no like Shazam
yeah,
moment where you're like, oh, we've solved it. There was a mystery and now there's no mystery. Like the whole thing is a mess and it's awful and there's no solution and there's no good, nothing. It's very unsatisfying. But one of the things that I took away from it was that like I want to have more joy in my life and I want to encourage other people to have more joy and I want to give people an outlet to talk about the thing that makes them happy. Um, and to feel like it mattered to somebody that that happened and that other people listened to it and that it was cool and fun even if you never think about it again later if this is the only time you ever listen to this podcast. I just i would give anything to have a video like this of my nephew telling me about planes. He was really into planes, so there you go.
yeah.
Anyway, we're not going to cry about it.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for being here, guys. I'm going to talk to Emily without you. Bye.
Bye.